Precalculus. So we will start and see where we're at and what we know and what we don't know. All right, to begin with, if I take 4a and I times it by 3a, what do I get?
Together, 7a squared.
12a.
Close.
12a squared.
12a squared.
Multiply 4 by 3, multiply a by a, and we get to that. Okay, so that's the first part. So today, our focus is on multiplying polynomials. Now, a polynomial is simply a, not an equation, but a expression that has more than one value in it. All right, it's usually separated by an add or a subtract sign. So this is each of these, this would be called a monomial because there's only one term. That is a binomial because there are two terms. That is what we call a trinomial. Okay. So we have a monomial, binomial, and trinomial. Okay. Now, if I have this now. So I have a monomial times a binomial. Anybody want to tell me what we see? What's the solution here?
Well, would you start with like bed mass first, so then it'd be a, it'd be the 4 times 3, but would it be
4.
12 and then a squared again? Like how was it? Which question?
4a squared plus 3.
Plus what?
3.
No. Close.
A squared plus 7.
Oh, you got it right. Jack?
You would times the 4a to the a and then add those together.
Okay. All right. So let's call it distributive property. What I actually do in this case is I take the 4a and I have to multiply it by the a, and then I take the 4a and I times it by the 3. You have to multiply it by both terms. So 4a times a, 4a squared. So you have that part right. 4a times 3, 12a.
Okay.
Multiply through the brackets by each term.
I thought you could multiply a times a number that wasn't a.
I didn't. I times the 4 by the 3, and the a just stays as is. Okay? All right, let's try again.
Can you still simplify the other two?
Can't do anything with it. That's simplified. That's it. Okay? When you multiply, you actually don't simplify. You expand it. When you divide, you simplify. Okay? And we'll get to that tomorrow. All right, 3b times b minus 2.
3b squared minus 6b.
Well done. There you go. We've done this before. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Ask away because I'm about to go to something a little more complicated. Any questions about that? Who doesn't understand what we're doing there? Honestly, put up your hand if you don't follow. So, Jackson? Okay, that's fair. All right. One guy is honest. All right, let's try one more then. Again, I'm going to keep making them a little bit more difficult.
squared plus 2ab.
2a times a, 2a squared. 2a times b,
2ab.
2ab. Can't change them, just got to put them together. Again, I'm going to ask this one more time. If you do not understand, put your hand up, because I'm about to do a binomial by a binomial, then a binomial by a trinomial. So if you can't do a monomial by a binomial, it's a lot of nomials, it's going to get more difficult. So who does not follow this step here? Jackson, you better, Ned? Yeah. Okay. Anybody else having issues? All right. You've done this before, yes? Okay. Did you use FOIL last year?
No.
No?
FOIL?
Okay.
Maybe we did, I just don't know.
All right. So here is what we're going to do next. All right. There are two ways in which we can set this question up, actually three. I am going to show you the two longer ways first, and then I'm going to show you the way that is simplest when it's a binomial by a binomial. Okay? The first way to do this is to distribute each of the first bracket through the second bracket separately. So I would take the a, and I would times it by a plus 3. Then I take the 2, and I times it by a plus 3. So that is one way in which you can do that. Again, this is the longer way to do this question, but it still gets us to the same answer. So if I do it this way, what is a times a plus 3?
A squared plus 3.
A squared plus what?
3.
No.
3a.
3a. And how about 2 times a plus 3?
2a plus 6.
6. There you go. Okay. Now, at this point right now, do I have any terms that are similar?
Yes,
Which one?
the 3A and the 2.
And what can I do with those? Add them. What's 3a plus 2a?
5a.
5a. Do not change it to a squared value. Do not change it to a squared value because you can only change an a to an a squared by multiplication. You cannot do it through addition. All right, that is method number 1. Method number 2, again, not the method I prefer because it's longer, but I'm going to use it when I do a binomial and a trinomial. So method number 2 is the stacking method. Now, do not write this down. Let's see what we remember. How do you multiply 36 by 45?
5 times 6, 5 times 3.
Okay.
4 times 6, 4 times 3.
All right, good for you. 5 times 6, which is?
30.
30. I put the 3 up here. 5 times 3 is?
15.
15 plus 3 is?
18.
18. X here, right? 4 times 6? 24. Put the 2 up here. 4 times 3? Plus 2. So that is 1, 5. Oh, that's not right. It's backwards here. 0, 2, 6, 1. 16, 20. Okay. So we work from right to left. Multiplication. Yes? All right. I'm going to do that here, but I'm going to work left to right. So I'm going to start with the A on the bottom of the 2.
A town.
So if I'm multiplying these, I'm going to go A times A, which is
2A. A
No.
on A squared, sorry.
A times 2 is
A to 2A.
2A. 3 times A is,
3A.
so I place it underneath here. I line it up with the A above. And then I have 3 times 2, which is
6.
6. Then I add them together. So that's method number 2. Simple enough, yes? Okay. Again, I'm not going to use either one of these methods for a binomial and a binomial. All right? I'm going to use the next method, which I call FOIL. Now, the reason I use FOIL for this is when we factor, that's the next step. The next step is factoring, which means you take a trinomial and you factor it. It's easier to understand FOIL to work it backwards than it is to do it the other way. All right. FOIL is an acronym. An acronym means you have a word in which each of the letters stands for something. Okay? In this case, the F stands for first in each bracket. So you multiply the first in each bracket. Well, what's the first value in each bracket?
A.
A and A. That's the first in each bracket. Now we're going to multiply the outside. That's the next word. The outside. That is this guy and that guy. A and 3. Then we multiply the inside, which is 2 and A. There's your inside. Then the last 2 and 3. All right, so by color to make this make sense. A times A is
A squared.
A squared. So that is this times that. That's the first in each bracket. That is your F. Your outside in each bracket is that, which gives me 3A. The inside in each bracket, 2A, and the last in each bracket, 6.
Isn't that the same as the first method?
No, I'll show you. No, it's not. We're going to do it. This is going to make more sense when we start going through this a little bit faster. Okay, so now you collect the like terms. My final solution, A squared plus 5A add 6. That's called FOIL. First, outside, inside, and last. Now, when you get real good at this, you're going to understand that the outside and the inside will always add together. Outside and the inside will always add together. The first stays the same, the last stays the same, but the first, the 2 on the inside, add together. Okay? So now, let's rattle off some examples now. And let's see if we can do this fairly quickly now as to how we do it. All right? So I'm going to start with this. A plus 4, A add 5. Okay. Just lay your pencils down after you write the question down.
You don't care what method we use.
I'm going to use the FOIL method. Because I want to bust it off, but I want you to leave your pencil down while we do this. Okay, so the reason I want to use this method again is because it's quick. So the first thing I do is the first, which is
A.
A and A, which is
A squared.
A squared. Outside, inside,
4A.
last.
20.
5.
What is it?
20.
20. Simplified,
9A squared 20.
first, outside, inside, last. Probably the most or the easiest or quickest method that you're going to use rather than the other two. This only works for a binomial and a binomial though. It only works for a binomial and a binomial, the FOIL method. Okay, write that down. All right. A minus 3, A plus 1.
A2. Oh, sorry.
First,
A2. A squared, sorry.
A squared. Outside,
A. 1A.
So you just put A.
inside,
Minus 3A.
last.
Minus 3.
One A minus 3A is negative 2A. Subtract 3. Okay? All right. Before you write this out, I said to you the middle term is the sum of the outside and the inside. So as soon as you look at this right now, as written, because x and x are x squared, I have negative 4 and 3. What is the middle term going to be?
Minus 4x.
What? Minus 1x. How do we know that? What's minus 4 add 3? Minus 1. So that will be your middle term. So it's actually pretty easy if you just look at it and there's nothing in front of the x's. That makes it simple. Okay, so write that out right now.
Middle term.
Write out the whole term or the solution for this product. Lily, you wrote it down?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know. You're ahead of the game here. Okay, what is it?
X squared
X squared
minus X minus 12.
plus 12?
Minus 12.
Minus 12. All right. Who did not get that correct? Put up your hand. Here we go. Minus 4x here. And it's minus 4x3. Minus 12.
And then this one. Which is the one on the outside. This is the outside. This is the outside. Yeah. And then
All right.
these two, we have 4x1 minus 4 at these two, and it's negative. Minus 4.
But how does that make the middle term?
Because the outside
Then you subtract.
is plus 3x.
Yeah.
The inside is minus 4x. Minus 4 add 3 is minus 1.
Oh, okay.
It's like compact.
Okay. How are we doing? All right. Okay. I'm going to go away. Actually, we'll do one more binomial. I'm going to add a wrinkle to it. All right. Let's go through this one. Middle term isn't as easy here. If you use FOIL, still get you there. Okay, what does the first give you?
2b squared.
B squared. The outside,
Minus 10b.
inside, and last.
Minus 15.
Okay. Like terms,
Minus 7.
okay. Anybody not get it right? Be honest. I just want to look at the work if you didn't get it right. Where'd you go wrong?
I just think that I went to B. I just said I went to plus B.
So what's the first one?
Small fine. Oh, small fine. Oh, you're not.
Okay, so the last thing I need to show you today, we're going to go back to that stacking method because we're going to multiply a binomial by a trinomial now. So I have 2a plus 4 times now, again, you could use the second method, which is times 2a through the brackets, and then times 4 through the brackets, and then get it. I think personally, when I use the trinomial, the stacking method's the easiest. So you can't use FOIL here, so I use the stacking method. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go a squared plus 5a adds 7. And then down here, I'm going to go 2a plus 4. And I'm going to work left to right now. I'm going to work left to right. So put your pencils down, watch it, then we'll write it down, and then we'll talk about it, okay? So, working left to right, that's 2a times a squared. What does that give me?
2a squared.
No.
Third. 2a third.
2a cubed.
Cubed.
2a times 5a.
10a squared.
2a times 7.
14a.
14a. 4 times a squared.
4a squared.
So I put that right below it, a squared part. 4 times 5a.
20.
And 4 times 7.
20.
So while I stack it, I work left to right, but I always just put my like terms under each other. So then I know how to add it and subtract it. Okay. To me, that makes this a much simpler method of doing it. So the 2a cubed just comes down. That makes 14a squared. That makes 34a. And that makes 28. And there's your final answer.
Can we make the first method?
Pardon me?
Can we use the first method?
Yeah. Okay. Any questions about that? This is taboo, I know, but I'm not a fan of algebra tiles. I never have been. I think that you should be able to do this without. If you struggle with this, and if you've ever used algebra tiles, I can most definitely get them for you, but it's not something I prefer, just personally. So it is an option for you, but I won't do any of the questions in the book with algebra tiles. Okay? Any questions about this? Are we good to try it on our own now for the day? Or do you want another question on the board? We're okay to work on our own? Okay. All right. Page 87. You can skip the algebra tiles, but you can do number 2 without algebra tiles. Okay?